Yeah, I mean, I get the idea. You want to keep it out of range, but Zerglings, that's not exactly their strength there.
Yeah, alright, so Juggernaut, it's a bigger rush distance. So we'll see if he's going to send his scouting probe out this time.
That we will, as we spawn here in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have the red Protoss player coming out from Vietnam. He is, of course, going to be representing himself as he's currently teamless, but once again will be Jiggly MeomaikA.
And down in the bottom left, our yellow Zerg from the Philippines. He's doing another 12 pull. It is Nuks.
And yeah, I mean, not much to say about that last game. Nuks once again just trying to gun for a quick little victory here with a very early pool.
Yeah, this time Mio's doing the right thing. He's sending his probe out at the gate. Usually you want to send it out immediately in the current meta, but he's still going to be able to see the pool and react in time here, so I think he's going to be okay. But he might change his mind to... Oh, actually, that's not good for him at all. So pylon blocks, but he doesn't see... He's not going to see the Zerglings leave.
I'm holding my breath here, Sano. I'm hoping that MeomaikA has some kind of epiphany to say. Maybe I should check. That should be the tell.
Okay. That's...
Decent
oh man, that's...
even before
that skin. It makes the pylon explosion so big.
It's great. It's like they packed it down with some gunpowder, the Protoss did.
That's really odd by Nuks. I'm surprised he went to kill the pylon there with the Lings, because Mio didn't see the top of the ramp, so he didn't see the pool, so he could just come straight across from that.
Yeah, kind of losing the element of surprise here, but he's still trying to make do with what he's got. MeomaikA still making sure that, you know, he's taking precautions here, trying to get another wall up if need be.
Yeah, well, Nuks has done the right thing here. He sees it's only one gate defense on the ramp here, sorry, at the front, and he's gonna do the dance with the Zealot. And there's gonna be, is that an Adept coming? It's a Stalker coming, okay. He can still focus down the Cybernetic core.
Yeah, side of thing for Protoss. Zealot just a little bit off the wall. And the Zerglings do come in, but the Zerglings come out a little too afraid to tangle with all those probes in that Stalker.
Yeah, he really wants to grab that Zealot, but I feel like he should just be kind of playing at the wall for now. Just try and maybe get a kill on that Cybernetic score. Oh.
Alright, well, he's managed to chase Ducks away, though. That's all well worth it.
Yep, and this is where we'll get to see a little bit of MeomaikA's Protoss play. He survived the early game. Now we're going to see what he does.
Yeah, I have to wonder, what is his go-to for MeomaikA? Obviously, he plays a lot against, you know, people like Pez, people like Justice Simon, who vary pretty wildly on their openings and how they like to play the PvZ matchup. So, yeah, I have to wonder, does MeomaikA have a little bit of inspiration coming out from them?
Yeah, not too sure. Like, this is probably the first Protoss game I've ever seen out of Mio, so I assume it's going to be something that's not quite meta or an attempt at the meta.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see.
And maybe a little bit of Mio taste.
That's a dream. I mean, one day we'll be able to see MeomaikA go full random and just confuse everyone in every matchup.
Oh my god. That is the day he becomes world champion.
Without a doubt.
If he can master all races, it'd like just have his own style for every race at a GM level, like high GM level like he has with his Zerg, he'd be the bane of everyone's existence.
That will truly be the day we can call him MeomaikA Ascendant.
Yeah. And a bit of a supply block coming out there for Nuks. Didn't have any overlords queued up on that scouting overlord.
Yeah, keeps him behind on the supply for a little while, so just trying to make use of what he's got. Sending the links around to MeomaikA, opening up semi-standard, I should say. So Void Ray first is coming out for that Stargate, but another one does get thrown down.
Yep, a couple of depths coming across the maps. He's going to go and try a little bit of depth harass in the natural base. And let's see how much he can get done here. He's got a couple workers.
Gets a couple of workers versus all the links come all the way back home. So decently done here by MeomaikA. Once again, just preventing any map presence coming out from Nuks, at least for the time being. Nuks following that up with a Roach Warren, and yeah, that's a little... Oh boy. Not quite what you wanted against +1 Void Rays.
Roaches, yeah, that does make things a little rough. And I think he did see the Stargate with his initial scouting overlord, because I think the Void Ray did kill it. But I don't think he saw the second Stargate, did he?
Not quite yet, no. I think he did see the initial Void Ray as well. MeomaikA not going to chase any of these overlords down with the lone Void Ray. So just sort of, you know, sneaking around. And this is somewhat worrying here, Sano. If MeomaikA reveals the sand a little bit too soon to say that Overlord heads by his base, Nuks will have plenty of time to prepare.
The scary thing for Nuks still is, like, MeomaikA isn't looking for a third base, so he's putting all of his resources into +1 Void Rays right now, and if he goes across the map and the only anti-air is Queens, I think the Void Rays win that fight, especially with the overcharge beam, so...
Well, yeah, we'll see. Does of course depend quite
Prismatic alignment. That's like sitting there trying to think what the ability is for ages.
I just call it Big Beam.
Yeah.
You know, just let go, zoom, or what have you. Yeah, we'll definitely have to see how well Nuks rather can sort of micro those queens, get those transfuses down. Ideally, he would be using them to sort of tank if he has some kind of other anti-air along, but for now it is only spores. Getting a lot of roaches. You know, a couple of Crucifiles not gonna be too bad against the Void Rays, especially if they're slowed by Big Beam.
Yeah, well, still at this point, it's only been one Void Ray that's shown its face to Nuks, so he's building a huge ground army to basically either stop the third or just go for the kill. He's gonna rank up, and there's gonna be, what, how many Void Rays are there right now? 8 Void Rays, nearly 10 with +1 with each length. It's not gonna be a good time.
That's definitely underselling it a little bit. I can just imagine you prismatic alignment being thrown on them. Army's actually going to be passing one another. Nuks has got to see that now, though, right?
He's going to get the anti-air straight away. Oh, no.
Queens. Nuks. It's painful, man. Attention split elsewhere. Have that anti-air taken out. Nice use of force fields. There are always some course about to take them out. Void Ray's still a little bit of a ways off.
Yeah, coming back, but there's going to be 10 of them. Prismatic alignment is still active for about 9 of these Void Rays, so he's going to come in and do a ton of damage to these roaches and links as they kind of clean up the natural, but they're trying to go for the main. Sentry stops some of the roaches from getting in, and they're just going to get absolutely annihilated by prismatic alignment.
What did I just see here, Sano? That just looked like I watched rays of pure sunlight.
Yeah.
Destroy the ground. And in the end, look at that. Only 3 probes lost from MeomaikA.
That's all he lost. Wow. There's a lot of hydras coming out here for Nuks, so he might be able to... He did get his economy up behind all of this, so he has like nearly 3 full base economy, whereas MeomaikA still barely got 2 base economies. He's got queens, he's got prismatic alignments. He's going to try and take this fight immediately, but it's still too much, unfortunately, for Nuks, and that's going to be GG. MeomaikA gets his first one on the board with Protoss.
There we go. We are definitely sated here, saying, well, I'm not sure if sated is the right word for it, but yeah, we at least get to see some of MeomaikA's Protoss coming down. And it did not disappoint, I can tell you that much. Yeah,
I'm kind of... I feel like Nuks, if he scaled a little bit more, he would have been a little bit more on top of that one. He probably wouldn't have gone for such an all-in attack. But he did lose that scouting overlord. Might have been a little bit too early for him, unfortunately, and that's what cost him. He wasn't able to get any more info.
Yeah, unfortunately. But now we are...
going into Romanticide for our third map.
Yeah, getting pretty soon. Or coming down, rather. Just gonna be getting Romanticide in. Or Game Heart, rather. Still on Romanticide.
Alright, what do you think we're gonna see in Game 3 here? Nuks has tried 12 pull 2 times in a row. Game 2 was not successful for him and it cost him. MeomaikA got a build out and that was the 2-gate star or Void Ray, sorry. 2 base Void Ray kind of all in. And that worked out for him. A bit of a build order win there for me on game number 2. So we've got 2 build order wins on the board for either player. What are we going to see in game number 3?
We're to see a win, not with a build order. Potentially. As we come in onto Romanticide, what would normally be our ace match in a normal Grand Platypus Open, but no, this is just the middle of our starting round. LE, of course, standing for Lovers Envelopment. Lovers Envelopment, that's when the duvet or what have you. In the bottom right hand side of the map, spawning down in the bottom right hand corner, the yellow Zerg player coming down from the Philippines. He is going to be representing GDA team. We have Nuks. Only Zerg player in this bracket.
Yeah. And in the top left, our Blue Protoss out of Vietnam with a nice building game number 2. Can you go to match point? It is MeomaikA.
So, definitely seems a little bit that that's an interesting wall.
Yeah, going for the high ground, away from. Okay, this is.
I feel like you need more buildings to fill up that wall too, don't you?
I feel like MeomaikA's thinking with that is like, if it's 12 pull again, my probes are closer to defend, but it just leaves him so open. Because there's not a lot of place to really hug your zealot or stop the lings getting in at all. So he sees.
Maybe he can fill up those holes with probes. Hold position him.
Yeah, we're about to see a new way to hold 12 pull by the look of things.
Alright, show me what you've got for us, MeomaikA. Once again placing that cybernetics core behind the pylon. Little unfortunate here. Zella's now about to get surrounded. Sano.
Oh, he's gonna go straight past it. Oh, this is a weird little fight. He is gonna lose his skeleton, unfortunately. But he's got some very tough Zerglings. He needs to kill this pylon if he's gonna save himself here. 2 chronoboosts go down, and this is working.
Yeah, surprisingly, Nuks, I mean, decided to fight that zealot in what was admittedly a pretty decent position, all things considered. And now that the adepts are out, this should not be getting too much more done. If it was only a single adept, maybe.
Yeah. He's got 2 more adepts coming out too behind this, and it's gonna go across the map. It's gonna be slow lings to contend with a couple queens. He might get a huge amount of worker kills here. And yeah, Nuks is having to make the call of throwing down a spine crawler.
And this is what I really like about MeomaikA right now, Sano. He is going across the map with these adepts. He's following that up with a Stargate. Still not getting that wall. MeomaikA really saying you do not need to wall yourself in to be able to hold again in the PvZ. Just play like Meo. I do have to say, there's a lot of times you look at a MeomaikA game and you say, I'm pretty confused that it's kind of become a running joke at this point. I feel like this is the first time in a long time I'm truly baffled with how he's playing.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting so much work done with these adepts too across the map. He's got 7 workers killed. The Overlord is getting a scat here on the Stargate as well, seeing Void Rays are on the way. But, man, he's taking such a huge economic hit here. early on Nuks, but what is that about? Oh, is that more adepts about to come in here at the south?
That there are.
Oh, three.
Yeah,
But 3 queens and a spine. Oh, he does give himself another worker. He's still got 2 adepts to do a lot more work here.
Yeah, 3 adepts is a little bit overkill, as it only takes 2 to start one-shotting these drones. But it does give him a little bit of insurance there, right? So despite losing a couple, he's still able to get a couple more drones. Good target firing.
That's gonna get another one. Oh, he's not done. 5 more workers with that single adept. And he lost the Overlord too, so his extra supply blocked. He can't make any more workers to recover until those Overlords are done.
Yeah, all things considered, despite being on about the same-ish worker count, this is still a lot of damage being done on Nuks, right? He has to spend a larva to remake those drones, and as you said, he wasn't making any of the any army earlier on.
Yeah, man, the second base is about to finish up for Meo as well. He's got heaps of Void Rays. The third base is only just coming down here for Nuks, which is it's not a great economic position for the Zerg at all. And he's just trying to find any inkling to get himself back into this game, because like he's hit by 1 worker, he's got a bunch of workers finishing up, but the army count that's building up for Meo right now is the scary part for Nuks, because at almost at any time when a couple more Voiders finish, he's still got a good standing ground. If he comes across with both that and in like a minute or two, Nuks is going to find himself in a really tough spot.
He definitely will. I mean, his best bet right now is to try to turtle up with whatever he's got, but even that's going to be pretty difficult, right?
Yeah, like Blair's coming up. He's man. What do we do as Nuks here to get us back into this game?
Well, I think being proactive with the queens definitely helps, chasing the Void Rays away as best he can. But leads him right into an Overlord. Nuks, you do not want to get supply capped again, buddy.
Yeah, he's had to spend so much money in the early game on replacement Overlords. He's been making so many of them too.
And eventually that's just going to continue to stack up and stack up and stack up. You do not want to be wasting your additional larva on making what should really be a free unit at this point for the Zerg player.
Yeah.
I guess not a free unit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like you don't want to be losing 14 drones and 3 Overlords before 5 minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah. But also, Nuks has been trying to recover, and he has recovered pretty well in the economy. Now it's starting his transition into the Hydra Den. And a couple more minutes, the tables are really going to start to turn around here. Nuks going to be with a much better army to deal with these Void Rays.
Yeah, he's got himself up to 60 drones, and he has a little bit of time now because MeomaikA was so slow to get his second Stargate. +1 is on the way though, so he does need to start. He needs to, no drones for now, and needs to make a ton of Hydras if he's going to survive this attack.
But for now, Meo's just going to continue to get some, little leads here and there. Got a queen, got some lings. If only he knew the Hydra Den was a little bit further south. I think 1 good prismic alignment would have been able to take that out.
With the spore there, with the queens he's got now, it would have been a tough ask, but they're definitely possible.
Yeah, I guess this was scored in the end there. Meo just not really willing to tangle with all that anti-air, and now the Hydras are out. That's already what was basically a full health Void Ray being down to half its health. Meo moving into these Zealots, but no charge. I don't believe he has a Twilight Council either.
No, he's just going Void Rays and whatever was coming out of his gates. Here comes the big attack though. He is 26 supply out, 24, sorry.
That's quite a lot, even despite the Hydras.
Yeah, he needs his queens to take 4 his Hydras on the ground too, so it's going to be tough. He almost needs to pull drones to survive this, and so many Overlords are going to be going down too. He's sitting in the front.
Ouch, you thought you could save them from being taken out by the Void Rays, but in the end, they will still go down. Prismatic alignment really trying to get what it can get done.
Hydra's trying to do his best they can, but he just didn't have enough. And MeomaikA takes game number 3.
GG. Coming up to match point in MeomaikA fashion. Now, I gotta say, towards the end there, you could kind of see what MeomaikA was doing, right? He had the idea of, yeah, he's probably gonna get his Void Race's follow-up, so I should be getting some Zealots that, you know, we normally see from Protoss players like this. But, unfortunately, forgetting a key upgrade here and there. Well, not like it mattered in the end. He did so much damage in the early game.
Yeah, those attempts did so much work for Meo in the early game. Getting the 12 pool, you really want to get as many drones as possible behind it and being safe, but unfortunately just didn't quite manage the counter attack too well. And it just cost Nuks a huge amount in the economy in the early game.
And with that, we're gonna go into game number 4, where MeomaikA is now on match point with his off race. And real quick, thank you very much, Melty, for the resub 3 months in a row. Wish I could play, but not. It'd be great to have you if you could.
Alright, yeah, Melty, 3 months of sub.
So with that, we're gonna go quack, quack, quack. Definitely a bit more used to, a lot of these insane numbers, but yeah, thank you very much, Melty over there.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit of banter here in the chat while we start to get a couple of things already here and there. Just talking about the SEA games for next year. And man,
yeah,
that is going to be hype. We of course had StarCraft in last year's SEA games.
And the event's going to be held in Vietnam this time.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, most likely won't be competing, so I'll have to ask my teammates if they're going to try and get themselves a citizenship to be able to compete. But knowing pretty much all of my team, I don't think anyone has a standing chance of getting citizenship in time.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah.
Just need to get them in. I'm actually not sure what the process of that would be like in some of the other Southeast Asia countries.
Yeah, I don't know whether, I don't think getting citizenship in any country, like if you're not native in any way, I think that takes quite a while in most countries.
Yeah.
All right.
But for now, we are going to be worried not about the citizenship, but instead about the light shade. LE. We're here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. The yellow Zerg player coming down from the Philippines. He is going to be representing GDA team. The sole Zerg player now looking to be thrown down to the lower bracket. We have Nuks.
And in the top left, the Protoss player in the blue out of Vietnam, one match away from advancing to that winners final. It is MeomaikA.
Already gonna be going down to our winners final.
Yeah. Well, Nuks is saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but he's down 2-1, so it seems to be a little broken, unfortunately.
Yeah. And
he hasn't
enough,
identified the issue.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Nuks also chose Lightshade, which, sure, it's a pretty straightforward rush route, but
yeah,
also a fairly long one.
Yeah, I'd say, like, people keep saying they're like, oh yeah, Nuks, he's from the Philippines, he's probably a little bit under Ender's wing. But after watching this series, I feel like he's been watching a lot of Mighty Kiwi. I watched a lot of Mighty Kiwi in recent years. Because Mighty Kiwi almost, without fail, would top pull every Protoss he played in tournaments. Every game.
Well, if it works, it works. Question mark.
Yeah, I mean, Mighty Kiwi's Ling micro is actually quite good, so he can usually get enough value out of it to turn it into an even game. But yeah, instead of actually learning how to play against the matchup, he would just hope 12 would do enough damage to get him ahead.
What a guy.
Yeah.
That's how I wish I could be. But this is a little bit more messy this time for MeomaikA, but still, with the Pro Pull, able to chase these Lings around and get those double Adepts out.
Yeah, at this point for Nuks, I would not have gone back in with the Lings there after being held off that well, seeing the 2 gates up and the 7-minute score. I'd be wanting to save as many Lings as possible.
Yeah, especially considering that now MeomaikA is going straight for the counterattack, not even losing that Zealot. He knows he has the initiative and he's going to take it.
Alright, so he's not, unfortunately not successful in keeping the first couple of Adepts at home. And they're about to come into the natural here and to see how much they can get. He's going to finish, actually.
Oh,
okay.
That was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, big surprise, actually. Nuks didn't make any workers. He went big Ling.
Which, you know, as he should at this point. The Ling harass sort of failed, and now MeomaikA coming around to counterattack. He knows he cannot afford to be greedy at this point.
Yeah. And, well, he's got a little Ling, so the good thing for Nuks here is he can maybe, like, keep a lid on the natural burst for a while he gets his drone count up. And he's actually gotten some earlier gas this time, so he's got a much faster Link speed. So if I was Nuks, I'd be seeing those Adepts come into the base and be sending my Lings across the map. And just keeping MeomaikA busy.
For as long as he can, really, but I guess Nuks would rather play it safe. Keeping the Lings at home just in case MeomaikA decides to go for another Adept harass, which, you know, I wouldn't put him past him. But MeomaikA just continuing to go for that transition that we've seen in previous games. Void Ray, once again. Gotta appreciate that wall here with the Adepts. They're holding it. They're holding that line. Oracle this time coming out from MeomaikA. Switching things up.
Yeah. Well, actually throwing down a couple faster gates behind this as well, so maybe not a double Stargate build out of Meo this game.
Interesting. Now, when I see all this being made from MeomaikA, right, the big question I want to ask is, alright, what upgrade is he going to get from his Twilight Council? But, you know, for the time being, just going to be delaying it for a while. So it's a possibility to go, you know, charge the Archon in this matchup, or if you want to go for a more traditional sort of sentry push. All the things you can do.
Yeah, he's making a few sentries. I wonder what his plan is here. Because his Stargate stopped production after the Oracle finished, his Void Ray is just being microed across the other side of the map, seeing what he can catch. But it looks like he's got pretty much everything he can catch at the moment, so now we're going to see what the transition is from Neo. He's got 2 bases, he's making all Adepts out of those gates. Warp gate's almost finished.
And that's a lot of Adepts coming up from Neo, isn't it?
Yeah, no Twilight Council for Glaives either, so maybe these Adepts are just for defense purposes early on?
It definitely could be, but I'd like to bring out another theory. It's where he's going to be taken out, not even a recall would save him. I like to bring out another theory, or a bit of a reminder. MeomaikA also didn't get the Twilight Council in the previous game where he had the opportunity to. Yeah. It's possible he just forgot that building exists.
I think it was okay. He was going to double Stargate, so the Twilight Council is a bit hard to afford off the 2 base. But this is a lot of ground dummy, and Nuks, he did have a lot of length, so he could pounce on this pretty sharply. Oracle does have a lot of energy, he does have queens. He needs to eliminate his Oracles as fast as possible.
And the sentries being the real MVP over here from MeomaikA, preventing a complete surround. The Lings do manage to get in a little bit, and they do bruise up the army, but in the end, I gotta say, Nuks losing a lot of Lings. But MeomaikA, I feel like he may have lost a bit more. No, surprisingly. Well, he lost more gas, but
he's gonna lose these Adepts on the retreat unless he recalls, and there he goes. He does throw a recall down, but he's gonna lose a couple Adepts anyway. But this is prime counter-attack opportunity here for Nuks. Like, the wall's not up, he's trying to get the wall up.
Mio getting a wall? What?
Yeah. A very late one, but he's got one. No third base on the way though, so this is where Nuks can make a little bit of a go of it. Like, he's got a good working count, he's going to jump that up to 66 as fast as possible, or somewhere around there. He's got roach speed, missile attacks on the way as well. And he's, yeah, Nuks is, I think, in the driver's seat from here.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting easy for quite some time. In a driver's seat, and man, I don't know cars enough to make an analogy here. Just cruising on down, question mark?
Yeah, I can go another way and say he's got the daddy pants as main, I would say.
Ooh. I would probably keep that. Okay, once again, MeomaikA. Still a bit of a lack of a Twilight Council, but committed to the gateway style. Not taking out of the gateways either. I mean, I feel like normally from Protoss we would see a, you know, a Robo facility or some kind of AoE being made, either a Colossus or Templar or even sometimes Disruptors.
Yeah. Well, the army gets spotted here by Nuks. He's got a quite solid lead right now, and he's making 3 spines. And they're a little bit all over the place, I believe, so he needs to find a really good place to attack here. He's got plenty to fight with. He's got Queens for Transfuse, he's got Roaches and Lynx. Everything that's very good against this army. Now he's got the Spine to fight with, but it is being focused down. Transfuses go down to keep it alive for a little bit longer. And MeomaikA's gonna GG.
There we go. MeomaikA with the unupgraded gateway style, showing us that it's not very ideal here. Did also sort of fight in a bit of an inopportune position right towards the end there, and I guess once he saw that Nuks was in a pretty comfortable lead, didn't favor his chances. Instead, gonna be picking the next map for our ace match.
Yep. Yeah, I guess like the big thing to take away from that game is instead of going heavy into the drone straight away after his failure, his 12 pull failure, he made a bunch of links, managed to catch the Adepts before they could do any damage, and that just gave him all the time in the world to make drones.
And that is exactly what you want to see as a Zerg player. You know, it's always a little shaky there in the sort of early middle game, but man, once you're in that comfortable, once you're in that driver's seat, right? Once you're wearing that daddy's pants, you're driving on down, you're taking control. I'm just scrambling for as many of the taking control phrases I can get. Not quite finding it, and we do have a quick little update here. Startup gonna be taking out Gogo Joey 3-2. That is also gonna be a pretty interesting series coming down, as MeomaikA not the only one off racing today. Gogo Joey also showing off that PvP.
Yeah, trying to take on a natural Protoss player in PvP. That's going to be a tough ask any day, I think.
But while that series has concluded, Startup gonna be waiting there for the winner of this one final map in this best of 5 series. Is it gonna be the player in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner of Def Aura, the Red Protoss, representing himself and all of Vietnam, the Jiggly MeomaikA?
And down in the bottom right, showing his grit out of the Philippines, the yellow Zerg, it is Nuks. And no 12 pull this game. We've gone 4 games with it. Game 5 is decided. I feel like if I can get a good early game, I can take the game here, and that's what it's going to go for.
Yeah, so maybe not quite as committed to Mighty Kiwi as we once believed. Instead, gonna be going beyond that a little.
Alright, so MeomaikA, and the crazy thing for MeomaikA this time is he isn't probe scouting either, so it's almost like a double way to work out, but he's still scared of the 12 pool either way, because he's walled off on the high ground.
This is MeomaikA getting out mind gamed a little.
Yeah, it's not something you see every day.
How does it feel to be on the other side of the pants, Mio? But this time we'll be, yeah, as you said, just getting a really nice wall here in the first base, or the main base, if you will.
Yeah, it's going to come down to that scout from Nuks to really have this execute properly, and it looks like he's going to be able to get a very early scout of this Stargate too. Like, he's going to see there's no wall. He's going to be like, oh, I got to check the main immediately then to see what's going on. And it's exactly what he's going to do. And he's going to see the Stargate straight away. So he's going to be a pretty happy Zerg, to be honest, to see one base Stargate. Because one base Stargate off a hatch first feels quite easy to hold, especially when now that he's got his Ling speed coming. He's got, yeah, 2 hatcheries, 2 queens up very early. He sees the adepts leaving the base, so he knows to make Lings shortly. And all things considered, he just needs to be able to hold these first couple of adepts, and he'll be in a very nice position.
Yeah, he's pretty much just waiting at this point. And getting that third base, because, again, there's really not much the Protoss player can make on a single base if they're investing this much into that Stargate play and with the adepts. So, yeah, just now the adepts are in. Queens come out to face them. MeomaikA not getting any eyes on that third base timing.
Ooh, a little bit of outplay there with the adepts, but gonna pounce on this here is Nuts. Loses a couple workers, but looks like Mia should lose one of these adepts before it finishes.
I'm getting a little bit of hull damage on that other adept.
Yep. A little bit there, but yeah, he's weathered the storm there. Like 2 workers going down there for a single adept, that's pretty nice. He's gonna lose himself an Overlord, unfortunately, but he knows where the Void Ray is on the map currently.
And he is well aware of how ahead he is.
Oh, I said that, but that not keeping on top of his Overlords is going to cost him here once again.
Yeah, we'll see if MeomaikA is able to sort of exploit that, and will be able to force Nuks to sort of waste his larva. 2 Void Rays are going to be just enough to chase away these Lings. You don't normally imagine Void Rays doing too much against light units, but when they're low health like the Zerglings, it doesn't really take long for them to kill them.
Yeah, and we're actually seeing Nimtai's carapace coming out early here from Nux as well, so he wants to keep on top of his scouting. He's going to go back in once that finishes up, and there we go, that Overlord on the south side is making his way back up to make another scout. And this time around he's going to see the double Stargate. He's got, what has he got for defenses against these Void Rays initially? He's got a couple spells coming up, he's still got more queens making. It's just a matter of him seeing that second Stargate and knowing exactly what's coming.
Whoa, actually became the low ground MeomaikA is. It's possible Nux just saw it with the links in earlier on.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, if he clicked on
it. That's kind of a big if, yeah. Especially when he had to scramble those lings out that quick.
Yeah. Well, he's making a lot of queens, like he's continuing his queen production, and he saw Void Ray still being made back at home. So that's going to be a good indicator, and it looks like he's going to be setting himself up for a good spot, like he's getting himself +1 attack. Usually Mio starts his +1 attack for the Void Rays too. And his is going to be ahead.
Well, quite a bit to say the least. MeomaikA still not getting that upgrade. Committed to Void Rays again. I would hope that MeomaikA would, from here, sort of transition to a big ground-based army, right, with chargelets or what have you, but I have a couple of doubts there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, so he's going for that +1 Void Ray attack, so we're going to see the attack with line up, but that Hydra Den is finished so early, and he's got a good economy for just pure Hydra production now. He's just got to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked anymore from here.
That he does. I guess he could get a little bit more gas income, but really at this point, there's... Nux is setting up to completely hard counter MeomaikA's army. It is insane. Oh.
Yeah, takes out a geyser there, so he's gonna stifle the Hydra's production just a little bit, but Nux is already on 5, and he's adding his 6th on now as well, down to the 3rd. So he's gonna have plenty of gas income. He's got a couple spines to help with the Grand Army, but it is pretty much just gonna be pure sky from MeomaikA for this attack, and Nux is set up really, really well.
feel like it's definitely on Mio here to sort of recognize that Nuks knows exactly what he's going for, is starting to build up that army that will counter the Void Rays, and yeah, it's kind of on Mio here to transition out of that into something else, but still sticking to the Void Rays. He's got
wouldn't it be
11 of them.
Yeah, we see the army supplies are very even, but like the Void Rays are a supply heavy unit. I believe they're 4 supply each.
Yeah, it's at least 3. I think it's also 4.
Transfuses.
Keeping that one Hydra alive for so long. Cyanic Alignment getting a little bit wasted here, as you know, the doesn't actually do much damage. It doesn't actually do bonus damage to non-armored units. And yeah, just forced to get away.
Attack. Yeah, big wing counterattack coming out from Nuks here. Gets a full cancel on that third base as well. Man, it's gonna really hurt MeomaikA's economy going into the mid game here, because we got so many Hydras on the way here for Nuks, +2 attack also coming out, and MeomaikA is all in right now.
I feel like you can kind of tell MeomaikA is used to playing Zerg. He's used to having cheaper units out. Does not quite realize how important it is to get a third base up as Protoss. Now just sending everything across the map. He has had enough of this matchup. He's saying, please just let me face at least Gogo Joey down there in the lower bracket.
Yeah, well, the engagement starts off quite well here for MeomaikA, but he's not fighting with the probes. So the Hydras are just going to tear this up, and he's pulling back. Oh no, wait, this is starting to go in Mio's favor.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, it hits the timing right before those Spore Crawlers can finish, and now Nuks finds himself in a really tough spot.
Yeah, Transfuse is not quite good enough here for Nuks. Voiders is starting to get thinned out, but there's still enough of them in the air. No, there are not. GG is called. Nuks will be able to take that to MeomaikA, going up to face Starduck in another ZVP here in the upper bracket finals. Think about it like that, Sano. Down there in the lower bracket, Gogo Joey or MeomaikA, one of them isn't going to be making it out.
Yeah, the usual top 3 already in the lower bracket. It's an interesting week of Grand Platypus Open here, Yaku.
G. To say the least, lower bracket is hopefully going to be a PvP. I mean, Gogo Joey did make a promise to MeomaikA. If he were off race, then Gogo and Joey would as well. But I think we're going to be following this upper bracket here. Going on to Starduck versus Nuks. This is the rise of the... This is the rise of the kind of the underdogs here in Grand Platypus Open.
It's a new grand finalist out of these two. Like, if one of these two, it's their debut grand final, right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Nuks may have made it to semifinals in the past, but definitely not the grand finals.